I think there are very few things more exciting for a fan base in sports than when your first round pick quarterback, the rookie, gets his first start for the team. Like you could think about other things and you could say, winning a championship is certainly the most exciting. I would agree with that. You could say there are other big plays, other big moments, other big things that happen. Sure. But when you look at least North American sports and you look at them and you say, okay, well, when a top prospect comes up in MLB, yeah, but we're talking about MLB, it doesn't carry the same weight. You say, well, if you're an NBA team and this guy comes in via trade or via free agency or via the draft, and you think the trajectory of your whole franchise changes, yes, that certainly can be an exciting moment for a fan base. Like, for example, when the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis before the season started. Certainly an exciting moment for a Lakers franchise, but it's also a Lakers fan base that is used to winning a lot of championships. Very spoiled over the years. As a result, like even that might not resonate as much on the excitement scale. Like certainly it'll be some excitement, but kind of been there, done that before a little bit, if that makes sense. So you talk about you take a quarterback in the first round as an NFL fan, like you're looking at this kid, this guy, to be that dude for the next 10, 15, 20 years because if that quarterback is that dude, if your club got it right, your entire future trajectory feels so different and so much better. There is so much riding on that. It is incredibly high pressure for that player and for that organization and also for the fan base. So, as football fans and sports fans in general, we always tend to be very future focused, which is interesting. We always tend to be talking about mock drafts and talking about future talents and future and da-da-da. And sometimes we get a little too caught up in that and not focused enough on the here and now and the present and what the future play out to be what it is. I'm certainly guilty of that, especially when the present doesn't look all that good. But nothing much more exciting in the world of sports as a fan, to me, than when that rookie quarterback takes over and gets his first start. So I can imagine for Chargers fans on Sunday who are expecting to see Tyrod Taylor start and play against the Kansas City Chiefs and preparing themselves for that reality, that when they got the late news that Tyrod Taylor suffered a chest injury or had a problem in pregame and as a result wasn't going to suit up and it was going to be Justin Herbert that took over the reins and was going to be the starter for against the Chiefs on Sunday, while Chargers fans are probably like, ooh, this is a tough place to start this kid, his first NFL start. I imagine the vast majority of them are like, you got to be excited about this. Like, this is exciting. Like, we've been waiting for this. Tyrod stinks. Let's see what the kid's got. And, he had some ups and downs, but here's the reality. Is a guy that didn't get a lot of prep work during the week, which is a key thing here because Tyrod was the starter. Like, you're prepping as if Tyrod's going to play. Tyrod's going to be the starter, so you structure your game plan, your film sessions, your film study, your practices around Tyrod Taylor, what you're going to do with him. Justin Herbert comes into that situation, and they push the defending world champions into overtime. And he had some highlights, and he had some big moments. Had some mistakes. It's okay. You learn from mistakes. It's the only way you're going to learn and grow and get better. But if you're a Chargers fan, you got to feel excited. Like, this is a kid that you took six overall. You had a lot of questions about. The physical talent is certainly there. Certainly checks the box from a tool standpoint. But does he have the real, quarterback skills? Can he be that type of dude? And what you saw out of that first start has to leave you wanting to see more. It has to. So, of course, you see almost immediately after the game, Anthony Lynn talking about Tyrod Taylor still being a starter. And then later on when he's asked about it, talking about, Justin Herbert's a backup for a reason and Tyrod Taylor is our starter. And I just had to ask, Hugh Jackson 2.0, what the hell are you doing? This feels like the same type of situation you saw with the Browns a few years back, where you draft Baker Mayfield number 1 overall, and you insist on starting Tyrod Taylor week 1, Because instead of trusting what you're seeing, that while Baker wasn't great, he was still certainly better than Tyrod Taylor, who is a backup in the NFL, and that's okay, but a backup nonetheless, and not even good enough to really be a bridge guy anymore. You insistently, stubbornly feel like you have to start Tyrod Taylor. And if you remember the Browns in that 2018 season, it got off to a rough start because Tyrod Taylor is not any good. Remember the Thursday night game where Baker comes in and it felt like a shift for the organization. Now we see what's happened and still is yet to be determined. But the point I'm getting at is, did Baker Mayfield really benefit when he was already saddled with that piece of crap Hugh Jackson as his head coach to sit there and learn behind Tyrod Taylor and watch him play for a game or two? Hell no! The best way to learn is to prepare all week as a starter and go out and play as a starter. Is not to sit there and sit on the bench and watch and learn. And before you bring up the Mahomes crap, let's be clear about Mahomes. Mahomes' situation was entirely different. Alex Smith, at that time, Kansas City, viable, legit NFL starting quarterback. Not a franchise-level guy, certainly not an elite guy, but a credible NFL starter that you could and had won a bunch of games with. That's a scenario where Patrick Mahomes was long-term play, but you had the luxury to take him, and you let Alex Smith play out the string in 2017, and that's what they did. But if Mahomes had been drafted and played right away, you really think the results would have been any different? I mean, come on, let's not be naive here. Let's not be stuck in the 1960s and 70s in terms of our mentality and mindset when it comes to the quarterback position. But apparently Anthony Lynn is. The hell is wrong with you? I understand, look, if you want to come out and say publicly that, we still view Tyrod Taylor as our starting quarterback, but we will go back and review the film and make our decisions about the quarterback position for this upcoming week. I'm okay with that. Not perfect, but that's okay. But to sit there and then say, Justin Herbert's a backup for a reason, what the hell are you saying that for? That's the type of stuff that kills the confidence of a young quarterback. That's just dumb. And forgive me here, I'm speaking on behalf, I'm assuming, of most Chargers fans. What do you have to lose at this point? You're a snake-bitten franchise. You always seem to have something go wrong. You always seem to have some type of problem with guys getting hurt. Last time I checked, week 1, where Tyrod was a starter, you struggled to beat the damn Bungles, who were starting their own rookie first-round quarterback in his first ever NFL game. And Tyrod was so spectacularly damn awesome that would you win, 16-13? And even then, a missed Bullock field goal prevented the game from going to overtime. What the hell did you see that was so impressive in that week 1 matchup that you look at what Herbert did in week number 2 and you say to yourself, duh, I still think Tyrod is a better option. Ding dong, dumb dick, you're wrong. This is a perfect situation of if Tyrod Taylor was clearly and significantly or sizably better than Justin Herbert, then I agree with playing the veteran because there is an element of you play the guy that gives your team the best chance to win. However, when you get to a point where it is clearly evident and obvious and you actually have empirical evidence, which you clearly do here, that suggests, if nothing else, they are at a similar place and your team will enjoy similar success with either one of them, and one guy is the veteran and the other guy is the rookie with far more upside, you play the rookie 100 out of 100 times, Anthony Lynn, you dipshit! This is not hard to understand here. It might not have been your intention. It might not have been your plan. But good leaders, good coaches, adjust their plans according to the reality. I don't understand this stubbornly sticking to the we got to go with Tyrod piece. Why? No, you don't. It's Herbert time. He showed you enough on Sunday to say it is his time. Imagine having to go back to Justin Herbert and tell him, you know what? Hey, you helped us stick a game to the defending champions. We took him to overtime. Sorry, that wasn't good enough. We're going to go back to the guy that struggled to beat the Bungles. These are the types of decisions that get head coaches fired. These are not the decisions that save head coaches' jobs. Because what Anthony Lynn probably looks at is kind of this old school mindset and mentality when it comes to being an NFL head coach of thinking that the veteran quarterback is going to give him the best chance to win. And that does not apply in every case, dude. And if anything, thinking I've got to win in order to save my job, when the reality is the young kid might give you more options. He might give you a better chance, both in the short term and even if he got fired with the Chargers long term. They could point back to, hey, his first year for Herbert in Los Angeles under Anthony Lynn went pretty well. We've got this young quarterback. We're Team Y. We want to bring in Anthony Lynn because he has experience working with a young quarterback. I think of Ron Rivera with the Carolina Panthers when the Washington Redskins brought him in. Part of the appeal had to be is that he was going to get the most out of that defensive unit, but he had experience working with a young quarterback in Dwayne Haskins like he did with Cam Newton. Different types of quarterbacks, but still. It's part of the reason Ron Rivera got the second job along with the coaching resume. But you even look at that example, like it was very clear. They went with Cam back in 2011, and that organization benefited for several years as a part of that decision. Like, you got to think bigger. You got to think bigger picture. And in not every case, I agree. Does it make sense that the rookie quarterback automatically has to start? But in this case, there is no reason not to. If Anthony Lynn continues to insist on starting Tyrod Taylor, he is just being stubborn. He is just being stupid, in my opinion. And he is just denying an obvious reality to so many other folks. And that is, at worst, Justin Herbert gives you the same chance to win. So you might as well play the kid that has more upside and you're investing a lot of your future behind. And best case scenario is as the season goes along, he will grow and get better and be better than Tyrod Taylor by quite a margin and gives you a better chance to win. Now, which guy would you rather start? To me, this feels like the decision and the stubbornness, if he's going to actually go there and keep playing Tyrod Taylor, this is the type of decision that will get Anthony Lynn fired at the end of the season and will deserve to get Anthony Lynn fired at the end of this season.